We're broadcasting again today, early in the day. I'm so pleased I made great progress on the websites and the special emails, but they are not quite ready. So I do want to tell you I will be backdating them. I want to honor particular dates. I had intended to have this on earlier, better. Well, I can yet release it to you on an optimal date. And then honor some of the other dates in the heading of the email, because I had meant this to come to you earlier. But time is what is mostly what we do with it in our hearts. Time is affected by our attitudes. The way we look at time, past, present, and future, is affected by our understandings, and we can expand and extend time. Obviously, that's the reality that we're portraying to you, and that's a true aspect of being an equinox true Q. So I don't feel too badly about it, because I've made a great deal of progress, and I know that they are worth waiting for. So let's go ahead and do our broadcast. And again, they're going to be rather simple broadcasts, because as long as I'm working on these big emailings and websites for you, I have to kind of steward and shepherd my own energy level. But we'll do more the way we used to do, where I used to make outreach calls and talk about you with other people very soon. Also, I want to get back to that, and I want to use every aspect that I have of gathering you, especially on air, but also soon on sacred places, on all our various places around this continent and the world. Because I need to have you think globally. God wants you to think globally. Your equinoctial cues, you have to come out of your parochial, sectarian, nationalistic viewpoint and understand that it is your planet that you are responsible for now, and one another, and kindness. Those are the main issues. And so I think you'll really like the emails when they come. And let's just go ahead and do our broadcast right now. And so we have a Statue of Liberty up here, the dawning picture of Statue of Liberty. And Dawning Reveliz is right with us. I think you may have heard her. She likes this time of the day. It very fits her. She's early in the day little kitty cat. And Maria Rainbow Sweetheart, her dear delightful sister, is not too far, but she's napping at this time. This is her nap time. So we give you all our greetings, and of course to all of you, and I'll say it a little bit more in the broadcast about both of them too, and all their kitty cat friends here and family. Okay, and of course after I do a little bit about our people family first, and so let's show the Statue of Liberty, and now we are showing the multiple statues of liberty in different places all around the world. And you can imagine that statue on different planets. Why not? Imagine her on different planets. And what we want to do is also begin to imagine a male counterpart. We need both the female and the male goddess, God qualities, both of us, all of us. So we'll do that too. And then we have also our graphic of the New Millennial Golden Rule that connects to the website 5050now.wordpress.com. And then, of course, we very importantly have our graphic of the hat, crown, halo, home enterprise that is at the beginning of the new millennial universe, reconnected. And so we'll play our important recording. And then she said she couldn't be made for everybody. That's when she came back and started to self-defense. Her whole love was to care for children. That's what she did. It was troublesome and just to get along. She was careful, very careful. And there was a sister, Clara. Let's play this again. And then she said she couldn't be the maid for everybody.
right here. And there was a sinister cloud.
There's Donnie giving a very good announcement. And let's start our ceremony. Right, here we are. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and water. Hugs and love to all, both, and each and every one as soon as possible. We'll do it this way. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and water. Hugs and love to all, both, and each and every one as soon as possible. And we'll say, Namaste, mitakuye oyasin, mitakuye ko several, kongs on pax, ko pax culture, tubes, sedleric, tubes, bahava, lachayim, shalom, salam, soul, shalom, soul, salam, shalom, mir, pache, mir, tubes, sedleric, tubes, I said that already. Ubuntu, merci, ciao, buenos dias, shlanzavak, cinque, chop, sayonara, das vidanya, good day, and cheerio. And if I've forgotten any of the languages of our heritages, please include them, add more. And we'll say, let love and live eternally young, longest, and prosper, all, both, and each and every one, as equinox true cues, solar, Milky Ways, budding and blooming, marvelous, miraculous, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretary. Let's do this again. Let's live and live eternally young. Let's love and live eternally young, longest, and prosper, all, both, and each and every one, as equinox true cues, budding, blooming, marvelous, miraculous, solar, Milky Ways, solar, marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretary, equinox true cues. We'll drink the milk of human kindness on behalf of all, both, and each and every one, representing all, both, and each and every one, starting with the focus on the importance of the 2 to 3 years on cue breastfeeding for every holy baby girl and holy baby boy, including my family, your family, our family. It's all one family. And that's past, present, and future. For people who didn't have an ideal breastfeeding experience or early childhood or any kind of life experience, people who have recovered from trauma, we have lots of ways of healing people now. We know that human beings are very resilient and can heal from a lot. But we also know that we're not allocating our resources for that. We're allocating our resources for militarism and the wrong energy sources. Once we switch over to renewable energy, we won't have anything to fight about. And we'll be in a great peace culture and lots of time to refresh people who from any traumas or deficits they've had developmentally. And that's worth our all calling for, because all people have so much to offer. And each person has a universe within them. And that they share with all of us. And so then we'll celebrate and reset, and we'll also drink the milk of human kindness throughout our lives. With all our extended family, and neighbors, we're all one family. Past, present, future, as equinox true cues, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretary. I drink on behalf of all, both, and each and everyone, representing all, both, and each and everyone now and as soon as possible. As equinox true cues of the Milky Ways, solar, marvelous, miraculous, budding and blooming, gardening and growing always. We'll also drink the Purim and Passover, Ssztarrszriszesz, Soma, and of Vedic India, and Entheons of Eleusinian Mysteries, and our cocoa also implied here, our chocolate, all the important sacramental drinks of all traditions. Let's include them all. And let's say that when we have ceremonies that are reparative of the female and balance of gender, and inclusive of all the minorities in any region, the people pay attention to what's going on in their community in terms of who they're looking out for and who they're not looking out for. Then we'll be kind, and our ceremonies will be fully kind, and we'll have entered the kinddom of the divine democracy of Atlantis and all holy lands risen on this and all our planets. So let's drink on behalf of all, both and each and everyone, representing all, both and each and everyone now, and as soon as possible, as Equinox 2Qs, budding, blooming, gardening, growing, marvelous, miraculous, and solar, full synthesizing, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretary Equinox 2Qs. Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries, very delicious. I drink on behalf of all, both each and every one. And let's drink the water of loving, living planet that will reclaim and sustain all our planet Earth and all our Earths to be, past, present, future, as Equinox 2Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries, solar, and look at the solar orbs on here and the photosynthesizing, ever budding, blooming, and flowering. That's us. We're also the rainbow flowers of the universe. So let's drink on behalf of all, both and each and everyone, and representing all, both and each and everyone now as soon as possible. As Equinox 2Qs, solar, budding, blooming, marvelous, miraculous, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries of the Milky Ways. Delicious. Don't take that for granted. And now we have our cakes. We'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days, past, present, future, as Equinox 2Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries, starting with our equinox dates, and that's both vernal and autumnal. We're approaching our autumnal one. We're right now in the solar time, but we're going to highlight in our emailing and what we focus on our vernal, our springtime, because the whole point of this is to extend spring into all seasons, and all seasons of our lives, that we maintain that youthful kindness and idealism. And so we also include all our solar dates and make this circle. And we start with our Shekinahs, past, present, future, and especially all our young Shekinahs and young Hekinahs around the age 37 and younger, to start a fresh egalitarian experience for them at the beginning of life, before they get bogged down with responsibilities and patterns that are only caused by patriarchy and don't do anybody any good. And so let's do it this way too. We'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days as Equinox 2Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries. And let me say it this way again. As Equinox 2Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries, as of the Milky Ways, solar, budding, blooming, marvelous, miraculous, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries. All right, and having done that, we also have our Purim cookie, our Passover wafer, and Last Supper, becoming the first break the fast that is patriarchy, and have an abundance that is always a cornucopia in all days, all years round, at all times. And here we have our round hat to symbolize the gathering of women in a circle, to say, yes, we require parity, we support each other, and then bringing all the people into that circle, especially our young people. And then we have our flat matzah to remind us that it is patriarchy that causes us to flatten our society, to think that the world was flat. That's why they thought it was flat for so long, because they had very limited vision. We were living in flatland, okay? That's what patriarchy is. Patriarchy is flatland. So we want instead to become risen. Think like a circle. think like a sphere. And you wind up looking like this, a risen round bread in an oval bread, celebrating the Mediterranean and the Middle Eastern traditions, and many, many others, representing them all as a round bread symbolizing all the females and an oval bread symbolizing all the males were risen. We will partake of those in many gatherings and enjoy that, have that to share. And then we also have our oats and our rice to remind you that these grains of the cornucopia of Mother, Father, Goddess, God, especially the mother aspect on this and all our planets, are so precious, and we don't have to adulterate them. We have permaculture and organic agriculture and solar and power, solar ways of heat running our equipment so that we don't cause pollution, and we can essentially have eternal cornucopia that way. And we thank Mother, Father, Goddess for all the variety there. And then we have our eggs of egalitarian culture. We start with the one egg, that's someone who calls the circle, like me. And knowing that the circle is always there, that the universe is a sphere, it's a circle, and it's always expanding if we expand it. And then we have two people, two women, like Lee and I, or sometimes it's been Anne Marie and I, and a few occasions we've had some other people. We have a Judy and my neighbor. We've had Georgine, amazingly enough, although she doesn't seem to understand the importance of the computer, but she got onto it for once. And we've had, of course, then we also had three people at times. We've had Anna Marie and Ma Patricia, and we've had Rasa Sylvia and I, and we've gotten three. And then let's get more. Let's get the additional 7 to 11 women and gather and anoint and co-anoint one another as Equinox Truths Co-Secretary Generals Co-Secretaries, and then call to us. Or if we're not, young ones, if your mothers are not capable of this, you just put your cell phones in front of them, and they'll gather with me. Say, I'm calling grandmother Auntie Rochelle, and you're going to connect with her, and I'm going to connect you with her. And this is another way to do it. If the women can't overcome their blockages, it isn't fair or right for young people to cripple themselves because their mothers have been crippled. You can be sympathetic to your mother, but you shouldn't be crippled by her. And we have to, but we can be sympathetic and care for her and make sure that she does not remain in a crippled condition. And so let's gather us all, and then we'll co-anoint all one another again as Co-Secretary Generals Equinox Truths. And that is very much the Eleusinian mysteries revealed. That is the beginning of true egalitarian culture. And then, of course, when I do that, then the relationships between women here, these two eggs representing 2 and more women improved. And then the eggs representing, sister Gazena's relationships are improved. Then we have the eggs representing sister Gazena's and cousin brothers. Their relationships are improved by egalitarian culture to more respectful, less abusive, less ignoring, less domination, submission, better relationships. And we have a subset of that, egalitarian marriage, much better for children. That's already been proven repeatedly on every kind of study than a patriarchal marriage. And the importance of gathering the family and community together is assisted by that. So we want that to occur. I learned that lesson the hard way because I didn't understand the importance of actually gathering physically with family, and my omission in that way affected our entire family. So we're not going to make those mistakes anymore. We'll learn the new ways. And then we'll have the importance of men's relationships that are egalitarian without the false hierarchies of accumulated, very gross domestic product, so-called money, or nationalistic hierarchies, or sectarian religious hierarchies, or again, income hierarchies, or racial hierarchies, or birth order hierarchies, or anything that men make each other miserable about. Okay. And then we'll have each one of us knowing that we all have, again, the single yin-yang egg is important because you are able to say purity, non-patriarchy, past, present, future to everyone you know. Once you say that, you change the world and worlds. And you also get yourself out of difficulties if you're in me. So, patriarchy, so remember that it's a way of saving yourself from any big misfortune. And so we've done that, and now we'll do our consciousness currency. And of course, these are on the website at 5050now.wordpress.com. The section to look at is, where you see them most easily is under the area of grassroots congresses, courts, and assemblies. And you'll see the area called among the representatives, you, and you. And you'll see all your pictures on consciousness currencies. And so we start with our great and grandmothers, the sister cousines of the past, generations that are waiting in the Akashic record. And then we have our middle generations of current women who are age 38 or so and above. And then we have this generation here of our young females and our young males, equally important, around age 37s and younger. Who are these people? They are Winnerian, Adelian, Morellian, Margulian, Silver Golden Kindian, Zalkindian, Veldmarian, and Sweet and Sagan, and Hearst and Herzogian, and Janser-Slatkin, all the Native American names from sunflowers and singing crickets to flying squirrels and happy doves and whatever you want to call them, little white doves, you know, remember that song, and running bears and all that. So but we'll get to the running bears. Let's start with the little white doves, and then we have they're not so little, okay, and then we have our Lee Winfrey family, and we have our Capadia Gandhi's family, and we have our Gerald Kronta. It's a Polish name. I'll look it up. It's from the Unitarians in Hungary and Romania, and let's see. We have, of course, all of the families going back to Hasafe and Ariadne, all of the women there, and many, many more, Estrella, all the goddess names. Let's include all the goddess names in this generation here of the older women, and then all of the women, and we also include the branches of the Brannock, Skakel, Hannah Fitzgerald, Hannah Fitzgerald, Kennedy Cuomo, Kennedy Shriver Cuomo, and Cuomo's taking us right back to Atlantis, and that's a tragedy going on with that family, because the failure of the Kennedy and the Cuomo equation failed to bring together the big Druidic, Celtic, and the Atlantis egalitarianism. So we have to help those people. We need to help them, and in order for them to be helped, we have to help one another. We have to do it quickly, because you've been wasted a couple of years now, and I'm getting tired of watching you just stand by and watch your world disappear because you don't make a move in the positive direction. So let's do it. And so you got all your pictures here on the consciousness currencies. We're trillions and zillions, and let's give you all big hugs. I'm holding you with a big hug and kisses. And then we have our big ranching family tree. Yep, you know who your pictures are here, but we need some more pictures. We're missing a few, but we have a fairly good beginning here. And we want to thank Sarah, Harriet, and Ray, who are pictured here, for gathering us in this marvelous, miraculous, virtual, virtuous way that can open the stargates like the broadcast on contact, and the film and the book. And then we especially want to include, in addition to Sarah, Harriet, and Ray, we have Hannah and Victoria, Estrella and Libertia, and Grandma Margulies, Grandma Popper, Ray and Clara as her Harriet and Jacqueline. Jacqueline will be in this middle group here, though. And Ray is her Harriet, and Precious Antoinette, and including also with her Lillian and Rose and Adele and Lee and Thelma. And we have Risen Rose with Grandma Marie of Milk, Honey, and Kindness overflowing, and water overflowing, and we have Annette, and we have Dorothy, learning all the lessons of the Wizard of Oz, heart, brains, and courage. And then we have Lynn of Everything is All Connected, not only this Earth, but all Earths and throughout the universe. And to open up that concept to us further, Rachel of the Yes, We Can Open the Stargates family. And we have Hattie Mae, Gaugie, and Lillian Gay. We have, of course, Rose, Marie, Myrtle, and Pearl, our Native American family, so that we owe so much to. And we have our Mazu, and did I say, of course, Kapadia and Gandhi, and Yogeshwara, the Polish name from the Romanian Hungarian. And we have Giselle there, and we have Dorothy and her other family. I've mentioned her already, and other Shekinas, and we have, I think I mentioned Hattie Mae, and there's more there too. We have lots of people of that heritage, and then also let's think of Maria Mbusca. Some of the goddess names are Maria Mbusca for the Hispanic families that are among us, and again Eunice and Jacqueline and Rose, and more of the Celtic family, the Brigittes, all those families, and we'll remember Barbara and Bessie, and both the Germanic and the Russian families here, okay, and many, many more, okay, all of our heritages. And then we have our current generations of women, so very important, who are somehow in some kind of a trance state, and we have to try to wake them up. They are sleepwalking themselves right over the gangplank into humanity's extinction. And we have to wake them up. So we have, and they're very marvelous, miraculous women, very extremely gifted, more educated, and more, in many ways, more world aware than any other previous generations of women, and yet somehow hesitating at this moment to move forward in the way that women of other parts of this world have done to parity. So let's assist Marian and Victoria, Mariama, Julia, Marie, and I. Oh, and up in this upper generation, let me not forget to mention Malka and Shirley. Malka and Shirley. So let's here in the middle generation, Marian, Victoria, Mariama, Julia, Marie, and I. Alexandra, Rachel, Juliana, and Francesca, Barbara, Leah, Jennifer, a couple of Anns, both Anns, and Candace and Ivy, and there's more Margolian women. Then we also have our Silver Golden Kindian women, Batya, Helene, Sherry, Arlene, remembering Lee and Thelma. We have also remembering Bethan. We have Susan, Sarah, Jodine, and Laura. We have Carol. We have some others too that are on the mailing list. I'm blanking out on some of the names, but there are more. Then we have, and then we have men of all these names too, you know, and some of the men have already done work on issues pertaining to women. And I haven't really talked about them because I feel that the way the women are in our society, if we don't talk about them first, they'll never get their self-esteem back. So there are men in all of these groups who have done work on gender balance. But I don't like to talk about them yet because the women just defer to men. And that gets the whole thing all going again. And also, it isn't quite ready. Those men need leadership from the current and younger generation of younger men. So we also have Denise and Marcia, and all of the Solomons become, and Zalmans become Zalkins, Zalkinder, and all the other kins and kinds of our family too. We have a bunch of those with various surnames. We include Mary and Carrie, and we include Diana and Donna, and also have to go back and include Anna Marie singing crickets, and Ma Patricia Sunflowers, so Anna Marie singing crickets, with Martha, Sophie, Laura, and Pauline, and we have Krishnandra, Alicia, and Patricia and Oprah. And we have Shu Ann, and did I mention Sonia and Vedanta? Let's include those young people. They're not so near us in the country. We need some more people in our country. I'm going to look for some Persian. I know of Soraya in our culture, Soraya, and there is actually a woman near us, here near me, where I am, in Bethesda, and I'm going to double check her name, of Persian heritage. So we've covered a lot of the heritages. We have Dolores and Maria of Hispanic, including also Anna Maria and Julianne. And we also have Georgine with Naomi and Irene and Jamie Lynn, and a whole bunch of Rochelle's and Julianne's on that on the Goldenberg Ranch. Then we have, did I say Donna and Diana, and Carrie? I've already mentioned Carrie, Mary, and I have neglected to say Andrea, Meredith, and Susan, and many more of our Feldmarian family. And so, if I've forgotten anybody, you include them. I also include, I should say, add some more names here: Esther and Ilsa, and Robin and Sylvia, remembering Gaugie also. And Judy, remembering Sarah, and there's more. There's more. And my neighbors, Judy and May, and Louise and Elizabeth, and Margaret and Temmie, and many, many more. Then we have our younger people, just as equally important, especially important, because we're trying to give us all spring in eternal life, and we have to help our younger people to become idealistic again, to not be cynical, to not feel like the whole world is just weighing on them like a stupid brick, but instead is giving them the way to have eternal life on this and all our planets, as the best of Stargate and Star Trek put together. Young people, a young team, and we have Hadass and Rachel Marie, Danielle Juliette, Stacey Anastasia, Soma, and Vanessa Salia, with Raquel Juliette, Lynn and Sharon, and with Raquel Juliette, you got Raquel, Lynn and Sharon, and Hesperus and Athena. And I learned something about Hesperus. We talk about Atlantis. Atlantis was named after Atlas. Atlas was supposed to be holding up the world. But I discovered a little bit of lore about this in the mythology. Atlas's wife was Hesperus. Hesperus was the seas. She was an oceanic titan. So how could you hold up the world without holding up the oceans? The oceans have to make a circle in order to hold the world and connect everybody. And this is all about connection. So Hesperus and Athena, and we have Hillel and Ashera, and Natalie and Elisa. Hillel, Ashera, and Elisa, and Natalie and Elisa. And we have Denise and Sandra. No, I'm sorry, Rebecca and Sandra. And we have Angeline, April, Edith, and Rosa, we have Abby and Sarah, and we have Lee, of course, who you've met, and we have Aquarius, and many, many more. If I've forgotten any important names, you include them. And then we also have our young men, equally important. We have Ben, Shannon, and John. We have Andre, and especially from our incredibly important family that they're all depending on. We have Yishai, and Harlan Lusav is Wesley. Yishai and Harlan Lusav is Wesley, and Ross, and did I mention Carrie and Mary in the group of women? I hope I did. And we have Ross, and we have did I say Ben, Shannon, and John, and Andre, and Jared, and Etani, and Eric, and Marcel, and many, many more. There are more there too. And then when we've all anointed one another as Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretary, that will open the stargates. When we get together like that and gather like that, that will open the stargates. And all the older women that we started out with, that we mentioned first, will come through the stargates as younger women in their youth, eternally youth. Like the goddess series, they'll have eternal spring. And they'll come back, they'll complete tasks that they didn't complete. They'll have the work that they did counted, their representational decisions applied, and the world will back to the way it would have been had we had Atlantis. Then, when we've done that, we also can let in our older men of our current generations. They're also very important. That will take about 9 to 18 months, and then also coming right through with them will be our older men who have passed and are in the Akashic record also. Julian, Ellen, the younger brothers as well, Joseph, and more. Okay, and let's give everybody, I'm holding them with a big hug, and then let's get kisses. All right, and now we want to, and if I forgot any names, and I'm sure I did, I had much with Jennifer and Jessica and Rita and Marilyn and Michelle and Linda and Michelle, and there's others, Tracy, and there's Julie, and there's Dory, and there's Arlene. There's a lot more that I have forgotten. Deborah. There's many, many people that I've known. There's all my there's my neighbors, young women friends, Laura and Amber, and the young men, Eric and Michael, and there's many, many more. So now we're looking at my branches, especially of family. But why don't we have Barbara bringing the pictures of her family? Why isn't Marion here bringing the pictures of her family? And why isn't Julianne Marie here commenting on her own picture? Oh, let's do that. So here we have our Winston. Let's make it Winston's instead of Lustons. And we have our hand to represent Victoria and Mariama and more of their Shakinas. We have Julianne Marie and I too. We have all the many members of the various family branches that we've mentioned are in this area of the heartland. And we have especially important here Vanessa Salia and Helen Love is Wesley, our younger generation, and also there's some other many younger generation people around them, including Stacy Anastasia, very important. But we know that we want to connect all of this branch, and Georgine is there, and there's other neighbors, Laura, and we can remember a lot of neighbors and go visit all the various places that we've lived and do live. And but we want to say that even this branch cannot do the job unless they're connected. So let's give them kisses. And here's Doni Orflees wanted to join us for that. She came right up as soon as we give these kisses for this branch. She said, "Oh, I want to connect with Heather and Jam and Heather." On behalf of Whiskers, I'm me and Marian Rainbow Sweetheart, and on behalf of also Whiskers Tiger and Buttermilk and Blackie and Buttermilk, the Sam Phillips, all the flora and fauna, and the furry friends, the pets, big white dogs, female and male, very gentle. So Donnie O'Reilly is representing all of those little friends of ours that want to steward the world for their benefit too. And then let's go back and do our big branching family tree, because that Winston Towers can only become Magdala, Winston, Magdala, and Nazareth together, and Atlantis risen, because remember, Georgine has been to Atlantis. She's been to Thera. And so has Martha, who's in that area too. Martha Howard. So we want to bring her in the community. So let's bring them in. And Geodora, we think, with her name, she may have been to Atlantis. So but they can't do it without the larger circle. We have to have them connecting with Marion and Barbara and all the way around. It works all the ways around. It works both ways. Let's give you all big kisses. And you see Donnie is blessing that again. She came right over while we're doing that. She wants to bless you. You see that? Get that? This little catty cat knows more than you do. She's joining the ceremony right at the most important moments. Why aren't you joining the ceremony? So then we have done that, and we'll also, this is our LU post-sacral ceremonies revealed, mysteries revealed. And then we have a big clarity fruit bowl of fruits, because we're going to pick parity with clarity, with anthropological clarity and logic. We already know, the anthropology is absolutely, perfectly apparent in every instance that every patriarchal society dies in its own war and waste. It happens every time and has always happened. The only time a society failed that was egalitarian was Atlantis, and we don't really know why. All we know is that it was for 3,000 years without failure, in an egalitarian mode, without any war, without waste, with great attitude and comfort in nature, and with very little income inequity. The people were all happy. It wasn't just like in Rome or Greek where you had masters and slaves. There weren't slaves in Atlantis. They didn't have slaves. They didn't have masters, except in that they were all mistresses and masters of their own good destiny. Why that fell, why the Thera eruption occurred, in my opinion, likely occurred because there was some kind of internal coup within Atlantis that began to move toward patriarchy. And it was at that point that Mother, Father, Goddess, God gave them the heave-ho. And since then, we've been caught in that result. None of the people have recognized the importance of egalitarian society in a deep enough way until our generations. We do have people who have so. We have Rihanna Eisner, we have Esther Herzog, we have Bell Hooks, we have many people. We have Alan Johnson, we have Michael, I think it's Michael Hannon, a lot of people who have written. And we have Robert Sapolsky now, and Vanessa Woods and Robert Sapolsky. They are telling us there is a big difference between a patriarchal organization of society and an egalitarian one that is female friendly and based on the importance of the bonds among females. You either get this or you ignore it. If you ignore this, instead of having this bowl of fruit, you'll have a bowl of sulfur and plutonium. You're going to have to pick. So let's pick parity, and let's pick parity and paradise on this on all our planets, and say we've had enough of patriarchy and planetocide, and we're going to pick parity past, present, future in our space-time traveling as equinoctial cues, co-secretary generals, co-seferaz. We'll connect with the Akashic record. We'll have all of the humanity that has ever lived know that we have figured out the puzzle of the universe, and that we are applying the new millennial golden rule to heal ourselves and our world and worlds. And so that's our and that's co-secretary generals as co-secretary generals, budding, blooming, marvelous, miraculous, Milky Ways, solar, co-secretary generals, go save your eyes. All right, and of course we always say this. I always want to say this part. Right, Dunda? Yeah, she thinks so too. Dunda likes it. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the beings of all the heritages of our earth and earth, past, present, future, as equinoctial cues, co-secretary generals, co-saviorahs. And we'll say again, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages of our earth and our earth, as equinoctial cues, co-secretary generals, co-saviorahs. And now I'm going to see if I can find Maria Rainbow Sweetheart. She usually naps at this time, and sometimes I find her difficult to locate. She hides under places. I can't always find her. Let's see if I find her. She came. She wants to say hi too. Don't you? Don't you, darling? You want to? There, she squeaked a little meow at you. And that's Maria Rainbow Sweetheart too. So you have them both. And here's Donia Rurfley. She's right next to them. Going to give each other a little hug. There they are. Giving each other hugs. Okay. Thank you, dear Goddess Kitty Cat. Very, very excellent. And that's our ceremony. Enjoy it, and we'll be sending you those emails soon. They're not quite ready yet, but you can go and visit the websites. You'll see some changes, at least on one of them particularly, and there's yet going to be some updates on a number of them. So look forward to some great emails, and we are going to backdate the emails with doing a little time travel for you so that your birth dates and your special conception dates and other dates are well honored. Okay? And then we expect that with a little bit of carrot and stick, you'll be coming to the broadcast too. Okay, we'll send this message.
To save this message, press 1. Your greeting has been saved. To change extension type, press 1.